Well, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you can hear me, if you can hear us, please post it in the comments. We love to send you a shout out. And aloha's all the way where you are. We want to see and connect to you. But also remember, this is a weekly space to connect job opportunities, employer partners, and career pathways while discovering resources and tools that support your next step. So thank you so much for watching. Every Wednesday, you can meet us here, practical tips, and then, of course, that you can use right away. But when in doubt, meet us in the neighborhood. Today, we have a great colleague and neighbor joining us today, James, all the way from the state of Hawaii, from Hawaii State Department of Education. He is a teacher recruiter, a great friend to know in the islands, and he helps educators like you in the main island and abroad explore careers in Hawaii and navigate the complicated process. But maybe it's not so complicated since you now know him. He can give
That's
us
right.
a great insight how to do and do it better. Right, James? Are you
That's
ready to
right.
get started?
Absolutely. Can't wait. Aloha, everyone.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Let's begin. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today. We're live today with a great discussion, not just for individuals who live in Hawaii, but maybe you are PCSing, you are thinking about relocating, maybe you want an incredible, great, rewarding career in education. And that's precisely why we want to have this discussion so that you can explore further what educational careers in education look like, navigating the application process, but also most importantly, how to really stand out and most importantly, connect with great people like James. James, thank you so much for joining us. Would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, aloha everyone. Greetings from warm and sunny Hawaii. I know many of you are embracing the snow out in the East Coast and around the country, but we are enjoying some beautiful sunny weather here. Not to rub it in, but we're excited to have you. I'm really honored to be here. Like Laura mentioned, I oversee recruitment for our teachers in our public school system, but I'm excited to talk to you today about all opportunities that are available with our statewide public school system, which doesn't just include teachers, but also includes every single career path that you can imagine. We are the largest public employer in the state of Hawaii, employing up to 40,000 people across all of our islands. So we're so excited to be here today, chat with you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for bringing us so many jobs and opportunities to actually relocate to a great place with amazing weather, with a great purpose, and just be connected with you as well in your great department. So, but tell us a little bit more about your personal background. How did you ended up doing this great work that you do, and why was it such a good fit for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So originally I'm actually not from Hawaii. I moved to Hawaii about 21 years ago from the state of New Jersey as a teacher, and I ended up doing this work, loving this work. I have a couple pictures later on about my own children who attend our public schools here in Hawaii. It's a great place to live and work and raise your family. And it's such a diverse community here in the islands and so welcoming to so many people from all around. So I ended up here 21 years ago and never looked back. And excited to share my journey with all of you today.
I am so happily jealous at the same time. I mean, why wouldn't you now? Why would you not want to stay, right? What an
Absolutely.
incredible, great. I mean, you're helping with education, you're sharing a great purpose, you're leading.
Hmm.
And so, what incredible to really know that you're doing great work, but then you also get paid with nature and great perks right around the corner. So, thank you so much. So, consider that my friend from Wisconsin who's watching right there at our neighborhood. Think about that. Great careers ahead. So let's talk about a little bit more. We want to know more about what you have to offer and what are some of the great opportunities that our community can take advantage of. So why don't you tell us more a little bit about your department? And you mentioned not just educators, so many other great careers. So go ahead, take it over.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just kind of quickly go through some of my slides. If you are watching this, feel free to let us know where you are, what kind of career you might be interested in. Let us know when you're PCSing or if you're thinking of relocating. But feel free to take a screenshot, take a picture of my number. Like Laura mentioned, I want to be here for you to help you with navigate all of the transition to the islands if you're not already here locally. So we would love to help you kind of find your next career. Reach out to me anytime. That's why I'm here. So like I mentioned to you, if you're thinking about coming to Hawaii, just know that it is going to be an adventure of a lifetime. And it's also an amazing place to live and work. And if for many of you I know who are probably bringing your children, your spouses, or maybe you're coming by yourself, who knows? But here's a picture of myself and my kiddos, two of them anyway. And this is a field trip we went to. They attend our public schools. Our public schools are great. They are really an embodiment of really the diversity and the culture in Hawaii that we love so much. This is a field trip we went to go to hiking, and then there's a waterfall at the end. So just a really beautiful place. And so today I do want to cover some opportunities. Like I mentioned earlier, we are a statewide public school system, which is so unique. We are the only one in the country that has that. And so, being a statewide school system, meaning that we only have one school district for the entire state, which expands over across many islands. As you can imagine, there's so many jobs. So, I'm going to cover three ways today that you can help join us as a teacher, or maybe you're an IT professional, or maybe you want to work part-time. You're busy with your kids, and maybe you can only come a certain days. You want to get out of the house, whatever the case might be. I'm going to talk to you about what those opportunities are. All right. And again, I do this type of live presentation every week, and I'm going to show you where I do that. So if you want to come back for some more, I know we have a limited time today. I'll show you where you can come chat with me at some additional time. So before we kick it off, I already gave you the answer because my slides, don't work too well today. It's a tech day, but we have 258 public schools in the state of Hawaii. When we talk about our public school system, we do actually have about almost 300 public schools, but about 40 of them are public charter schools. So if you're relocating to the islands, and we have lots of different educational opportunities for yourself, for your kids, but we do have, for employment for you, we have about 258 schools that are part of the Department of Education. The other 40 schools are public schools, but they're owned and operated by their own public charter school. So today, though, I'm talking about the opportunities with the 258 schools statewide that we have. So, like I mentioned, we are a statewide school system, but we are broken down into pretty much 6 main islands where we have our schools located. And within this larger school system, we also have smaller districts that have their own feel to them. So, for those of you who are educational professionals right now on the call, you're used to working in a school system. Each of these smaller districts does have their own superintendent, and then there's a statewide superintendent above that. So that's kind of how our school system works. Again, only one in the country that has this unique system. Puerto Rico, though, does have also a statewide school system as well. And so I mentioned earlier that today's information I'm going to be covering on our main website. I do this weekly, but if there's something today and you're a teacher and on this call today and you want to learn more about teaching in the islands, we do have a dedicated website just for teachers. It's called teachinhawaii.org. Try to make that very simple for you to remember. Feel free to visit me there to kind of get some more information about everything I'm covering. But thankfully, this is live and recorded, so you can always just come back to this as well. All right, so let me kind of jump into what are some of those other jobs that we have before we cover the teachers. You can imagine at any school, there are so many other professionals whose meaningful work helps the day go by safely and successfully for teachers and for the kids. So, from cafeteria helpers, cooks, bakers, you can take a look at the screen. We employ anything and everyone you can imagine: architects, engineers, accountants, plumbers, laborers. If you're a paraprofessional, maybe you work as a teacher's assistant, or maybe you work in a front office and you greet the parents and the kids. All of those opportunities we employ on a full-time and part-time basis within our school system. So, we have very unique jobs, from swimming pool cleaners to lawn technicians to architects, engineers, and project managers. So, a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities to go through. And I'm going to go about now, talk about how you can find them. So there are three ways to apply for jobs with our school system. So for those of you on the call today that want full-time employment, right? You want to come work full-time. We have a main website called hawaiischooljobs.org. That is our main job board where we list all of our full-time salaried positions with benefits, every day coming to work, very traditional type of role. For those of you who are maybe, you're not looking for full-time employment just yet, but you kind of want to dip your toes into it, we actually recommend you, when you're on island, to contact each of your schools in your local community. There are actual jobs that are not posted on the above link, that Hawaii School Jobs, but if you were to go to the school, they would tell you about some part-time opportunities that they have available. So if you're on post, you're living on base somewhere, and you can go to any of our schools that are located there, or you can drive off post and go to any of those schools, and they would be able to tell you about some of those opportunities that are available. The third type of way that you can work for us is as a substitute teacher. We do have a dedicated website just to being a substitute teacher. So maybe you are an educational professional. To be a substitute teacher, by the way, the minimum qualifications is a high school diploma. So if you want to work as a substitute, and you want to kind of visit our schools, it's on call. We do have a separate website for that. So those are three main ways: full-time employment on Hawaii School Jobs, part-time kind of casual employment, meaning maybe you work a couple hours a day, maybe you come in, different days. It's up to you. You work that out with the school directly. And then there's always substitute teacher opportunities. And again, feel free to drop into the chat or on the post if there's any specific jobs that you're interested in. I'll be happy to kind of talk about that. So for those of you who are teachers on the call that are thinking about being a teacher or working for us as a full-time teacher, our job opportunities for next school year do begin to get posted on March 9th. So if you're planning to PCS to Hawaii and you're looking for opportunities, March 9th, or maybe you're not in the military anymore. Maybe your spouse is out and you're just like, hey, Hawaii sounds great. March 9th, that be on the lookout. That's when we start posting our teacher positions for next school year. Right now, we do have a couple general applications, we call them, which basically gives our staff an opportunity to get to know you in advance, process your application. It's a general kind of interest form, and that helps us to be able to process you, learn about you, help you to kind of navigate your way to different schools. And then when jobs do appear on March 9th, you can begin to apply to those jobs directly. And we post all of our jobs all the way through the summer. So as a statewide school system, typically we see about 1,000 teacher vacancies every year, just because we have so many spouses that are PCSing. We are heavily, heavily, heavily invested in reaching out to our military affiliated communities. So we know how much talent you have, and the fact that you've worked in so many locations, that is such an amazing skill that helps contribute to the real diversity that we have here in our public school system. And so we would love to hear from you. So you can go on our website, hawaiischooljobs.org, and you can check out those jobs for teachers, and those begin March 9th. We also, and just to kind of show you what the jobs will look like, just so you can have an idea about what our website it kind of entails. When you do go to our Hawaii School Jobs website, and again, these are for full-time salaried positions, you'll be able to search by the subject level. So maybe you're a math teacher and you want to type in the word math, you can do that, and all the math jobs would pop up. You can also search by a map because, as you know, a lot of things in Hawaii, if you're new to the islands, they all sound alike sometimes. And so with that being said, we have a lot of names that start with a K. It's very common. So you may get confused about where you're at, what school. And so we have a map feature, which is super helpful. You can kind of see where you are on the island and then what schools and what job opportunities are around that area. So if you're living maybe on Schofield Barracks up in Wahiwa, or maybe you're at Pearl Harbor Hickam and you want to see like, hey, I don't want to drive too far. I want to be close to home, to get my kids after school, but I kind of want to see what's available. The map feature would be a great feature to look at, and that's on that website as well. And of course, you can filter by specific school locations if you know, hey, I only want to see jobs at certain schools. Again, we have jobs in all areas, not just teachers, accountants to account clerks to office staff to you name it. All types of jobs are available on our website. We even have an ability for you to sign up for email alerts because you don't have time to check our website every day. We know that. So when you do create an account on our website, feel free to sign up for those job alerts so that if a job teaching comes up or a job in your field comes up, you can quickly get notified of that. Um, so again, just if you're a visual person like me and you want to kind of see, well, James, what does this all look like? So for our Hawaii school jobs, these are our full-time because we would love to give you full-time employment. And I know many of you are looking for that when you do arrive. So submit your application on our website. Our staff is going to go ahead and review your application in step 2. And then we'll reach out to you and say, hey, we need this official transcript. We need this document. Can you get this over to us? But we're going to still keep on advancing your application. And what we're going to do is our principals or our school managers, or maybe you're working in an accounting office and there is no principal. It'll be a hiring manager in that accounting office, as an example. They'll reach out to you. If you're off island, of course, they'll give you an opportunity to interview virtually. Although you'll probably tell your spouse, hey, no, we have to go to Hawaii to interview. I won't tell them if you don't. And so if you want to come to the islands to interview, you can, but you don't have to. And then what will happen is you'll actually get that job offer all through this portal. In fact, you can even complete all of your background check, all of the necessary forms on wherever you are in the continental United States or in Alaska. We work with a large company that does that. So that way you don't have to fly here super early. You can kind of get all of your paperwork done no matter where you are in the US. So we try to make that super easy and convenient for all of you. I don't want to talk too much because you know what? We want to answer some questions. So Laura, feel free to interrupt me if we want to go to the questions. But I will tell you that I know many of you are licensed teachers in another state. You've gone through a teacher education program. And so I'm excited to tell you that in Hawaii, the licensing fee to get your Hawaii teaching license is free. There's no cost. So if you know you're moving to Hawaii, you know you're interested in working for us or working as a teacher, I recommend you apply for your no-cost teaching license sooner than later. And you can go to the Teacher Licensing Board website. It's htsb.org. And you do not need a license to apply for jobs with us, right? If you don't have your Hawaii license yet, no need to do that. Get it first. You can get it when you arrive. But if you know you have a license from another state, feel free to apply for that reciprocity because they do honor those out-of-state teaching licenses. Generic, just quickly wanted to show you a little idea of what our teacher salary schedule looks like. Feel free to take a screenshot of this or take a quick picture. But this is our 2026-2027 school year. We figure teacher salaries based off the highest level of education that you've completed. So we'll place you into the bachelor's level if you have 30 credits beyond a bachelor's degree or a master's or a doctorate. And then we look at your years of experience. So we know many of you do have many years of teaching experience. So, for a bachelor's degree with, 4 to 6 years of experience, starting salary is around $59,000. With a master's, is about 63,000, and for a doctorate, about 75, 76,000. And this is for just this year. Our salaries, we are a very strong labor state. All of our teachers are represented by a teachers union, which is wonderful, a great advocate for you all and for the profession. And so, with that being said, there is a teacher contract that gets settled every several years. And so, with that come different types of salary enhancements. But just know for our teachers, our salary schedules go way up into the close to 100,000 over your course of a lifetime of experience with us. I just wanted to quickly touch upon our employment benefits. If you are a special education teacher, oh wow, we would love to talk to you too. We need special ed teachers. We pay up to $10,000 more for working in special education with us. So if you are a licensed special education teacher and you work in one of our special ed classrooms, whatever your base pay is, we add $10,000 onto that. We also have certain school locations that do pay between $3,000 and $8,000 more for working at those schools. The funny part about it is that just geographically they're considered harder to get to. And one thing you'll learn about living in Hawaii is that nobody likes to drive. And so 45-minute drive to a school or an hour drive is it's a bad thing. I know some of you are in areas where 45 minutes, that's what you take to go to the grocery store. But here in Hawaii, that's a distance. And so we do offer incentives if you do work at some of those schools that are a little bit more geographically remote. And we do have a list of those schools coming up. We also offer, for any of you who are nationally board certified, we pay up to $10,000 more per year if you do have that national board certification. And lastly, just wanted to cover great benefits, healthcare from the first day of work. We have a statewide public pension system. So, after 10 years, you do become vested. I will tell you that for a lot of our military families, they maybe come for 3 years and then maybe 10 years later, you PCS back to Hawaii. That's accumulative. So if you come and work for 10 years, you will be vested, but of course you can take that money out and move it into a 401k or 403b if you do decide to leave the state. And great benefits, 18 days of sick leave, paid upfront, no cost life insurance, maternity and paternity leave sharing. If you have little kids like I do and they cost lots of money, we have accounts where you can kind of put money away for them and use that like a health savings account and to pay for some childcare expenses. And if you are an experienced school principal, vice principal, I know many of you are school leaders already. We do have pathways to kind of get you right into school administration as well, right from the onset. So if that's you on this call, feel free to reach out to us about that. We also post those jobs on our website as well. And then the last thing I will mention, if you are coming because of the military, chances are you will be located on the island of Oahu. This is pretty much where 80% of all residents in Hawaii live. This is where like Pearl Harbor is, Honolulu, Waikiki. Then pretty much, I don't want to call it the main island but majority of folks live here. And we do have certain areas of this island that do pay additional if you work there. So remember I mentioned that hour drive? Well, on the left-hand side of your screen, it's all kind of like two roads, 2 lanes in, 2 lanes out, and it takes a while. So we do offer an $8,000 differential to work there. So add 8,000 onto your base salary. And if you are a special education teacher, we'll add another 10 onto that. So it's stackable. And then we have a school for deaf and blind students, as well as a school for incarcerated youth, second chance type school environment. We have different types of settings as well. So I covered a
Wow.
lot. That's a lot. There's my
You
contact info, and I'm going to drop a couple links into the chat right now because I know some of you are bringing your kids here. We have a great military liaison office, staff that are really to work with you both on a personal level for your children, but also for me on an employment level. So, Laura, I'll kick it back to you.
Absolutely. That was fantastic. You have so many great perks. And I just want to say thank you so much for advocating and for allowing our educators, our kids in the area to be, to have so many great opportunities, not only to be employed, but also to have great people like Military Connected who will do such a great job to support our kids in the area with great opportunities as well. This is fantastic. I was thinking when you were talking about the $8,000 bonus for living in the main with the main island. It's like, can I bike myself to one of the schools and pocket the $8,000? I mean, that sounds pretty
You
pretty
can live and
doable.
work. Yeah, you can live and
Yeah,
work in those areas. It's just that, you think about it's an island. So, especially on that one island, everyone goes into Honolulu in the morning
sure.
and then everyone kind of goes back out. So, it's really traffic patterns. So we try to, our office tries to recommend where folks should live and work, or live anyway, if you're working in a certain area. So, we're always happy to chat with you about that too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we have so many great opportunities. And I have some questions for you out here showing on my other monitor for you. When we were talking a little bit more about substitute teacher, I know this is a really great way for military spouses to get their foot in the door, but also test a little bit their dynamics when they're new to the area. You get to work. Can you select? So this was the question. When you get in, do you have to work a full shift, or can you substitute? Um, a couple of days a week? What does that look like for a
Yeah.
new substitute teacher?
Great question. So as a substitute teacher, you pick your schedule. So if you want to work 1 day a week or 1 day a month, it's completely up to you. In fact, when you apply, they're going to ask you to select a school that you would like to submit your initial substitute teacher application to. So if you have an idea of where you're going to be living, I recommend that you choose that school that's nearby. And then once you'll go to an interview with them, and then once they interview you and select you as a substitute, you then can get into access to a system where you can pick and choose. You'll see all of those because remember, you get great benefits here. So our teachers have off, ability to take off 18 days a year. So there's always substitute opportunities, and you get to pick and choose which classroom, which subject area, whether it's elementary or secondary, you want to do.
Wonderful. And then following up on that, is there when you work part time, can then that transition to full time? And can you work with the same school from your kids, or is it
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just say your children are and usually it's the opposite way. Usually it's maybe you have a job that is in another town and you want your children to, you're driving to your work and it's going to be almost impossible to get there on time. We do allow for geographic exceptions where you could contact that school where it's near your office that you're working at and say, hey, can my kids go to school here? We have that ability with as DOE employees to make those requests. And so, that's possible. But in the same way, yes, you can also submit those applications directly to where your kids are going to school, and we welcome that all the time. And a lot of folks, especially within our military connected communities, they are working at the schools. They're there with their kids in different roles.
got it? And I know you mentioned that March 6th, right? It's when
March
you
9th. March
March
9th.
9th. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll make sure to post this in the comments in a little bit. But March 9th is where you'll see all the different opportunities. So those of you who are considering, or perhaps your spouses are getting orders very soon, how early can they begin exploring, applying, or maybe reconsidering, James? Is it, do you check and say after you have orders, then we'll consider you, or do you start doing that pre-screening before?
No, absolutely. So what we recommend obviously is, I mean, if March 9th is when we begin to start posting jobs. However, I will say most of our jobs start appearing a little bit later in March, early April, May. So you have time. So don't feel like you need to apply to something that doesn't seem like a good fit. Wait until you do see a job that possibly is going to be in the area that you're living, because we want to make sure that because we could hire you as early as March. In fact, we are very quick on our hiring. This is on the teacher side of the house in terms of if you want to be a full-time teacher with us, we hire very quickly. And so, with that being said, if you submit that application within a week or so, you're probably going to be in contact with a school administrator about an opportunity, about a job. So, my recommendation is wait till you get the orders, know that you're coming, and then apply. I think that would help. That way, you ensure that our schools, because you're going to be applying all over. Make sure you have the orders first, I would say, and then apply. But if you're pretty much going to be going, you have a general sense, there's no harm in sending in an application. And if for some reason the orders don't happen, they don't happen. But we're happy to have at least you apply in your interest.
Got it. And on your website, I know you have multiple websites. So by the way, thank you so much. Those are so like broken down into areas of interest so that you don't get lost in the sauce. But can you set up a sort of a job alerts and start creating a profile just in case, you don't want to miss out on that perfect job because what's your average applicant pipeline that you normally get? So you get this beautiful shiny job and my kids are going to go to that school, then I want to make sure I don't miss it. What is the best way to beat traffic that
Mm,
way?
yeah, so this is what I recommend. The jobs, if you go to our hawaiischooljobs.org website, that's where we post again all of our full-time salaried opportunities. So on that website, you can create an account and you can, like you mentioned, there's an email job alerts and you can go ahead
Okay.
and sign up for those alerts. I also would recommend that if you are interested, if you know you're PCSing to an area, feel free to reach out to the school. Let them know about you. I mean, we have our website. We have, the ability for you to go ahead and connect, to go and look for jobs. But our principals would love to hear from you. Send them an email. You can go find the school's website, reach out, advocate for yourself. You can email me, and I'd be happy to do an e-introduction say for you. We're always looking for qualified folks, that are interested in working. So don't hesitate to advocate for yourself. Don't hesitate to, when you get on island, go to your neighborhood school, introduce yourself if you're looking for opportunities, because there are jobs that are like part-time, maybe every not so then that aren't posted on our main website, but are there at the school. And so you want to kind of go and introduce yourself and get you on their radar. So
Absolutely. Let me ask you, do sometimes, I know this is happening at least I've seen it in the past 12 months or so, and it probably was happening way long before, but it's just more common now that jobs get filled within. So if you
mm,
already have someone who's working in your cafeteria or supporting as a different department within the education system, and then I find that it's the perfect substitute job or the teacher that would I get priority?
yeah, great question. So every job that we post on the main Hawaii School Jobs website that I sent the link for there, those are all external recruitment. There is this portion of the website that's internal recruitment, which would be for folks that are already in our system to apply. But anything that you see there, that is for everyone out in the public. There is no there that opportunity to get an internal candidate has passed. And so, of course, and when you get employed with us, we want to make sure we take care of you as well first. And then if we're not able to find someone interested, we will then go externally. So all the jobs that you'll see on that website, we are looking for someone from the outside. There is no candidate for those jobs. Definitely apply to jobs. I will just say that so I talked a lot about the teacher side, but I know I see a comment in the chat about like someone who wants to go into IT. I know some of you may not want to be teachers, right? We recruit for all types of jobs on that website. The teacher jobs get posted during a certain period, beginning March, and then we have those jobs posted until we're filled, all the jobs. So we don't have any teacher jobs for this school year posted, okay? We start posting them in March. But for all the other jobs, we post them year round continuously. So if you are moving to the islands and you are like an IT professional, or you want to work as an account clerk, or you want to be an architect for us, I recommend you submit that application now if you see a job, because those jobs do take a little bit longer to process, only because we do have tens of thousands of people who do apply for these positions. And, as a state employer, we do, we are limited in terms of the staffing that we have, and which is great. We're getting way more folks applying for jobs here, which is great for our kids. So I would just say if you see something on that website you like or sounds interesting to you, and go ahead and apply. We'd love to see your application.
Awesome. And I do see our great friend over on Facebook is asking about fully remote jobs or any type of hybrid
Hmm.
scenarios. What does Hawaii offer?
Yeah, great question. So in Hawaii, the state law does say that you have to be physically living in Hawaii to work for the state. Unfortunately, we are no longer remote. So we all are face to face at this time. Yeah. So all opportunities that we have are face to face in an office somewhere. And yeah, or at a school location. And so you couldn't live on the continent and, work from, California, for us, you'd have to be physically here working in person.
Got it. And it looks like we have a great cheerleader over on LinkedIn says, for my fellow mill spouses and veterans alike, please consider making a difference while living in Hawaii. The
Mm,
ROI is immeasurable. And I probably could not agree that, especially working in the schools with our kids, supporting our communities and very
absolutely.
like-minded. Absolutely. I mean, that is the reason why you never went back to the East Coast. So
Yeah, and let
any best
me
tip?
jump
Oh,
on
sorry.
that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me jump on that question because it's such an important one. Oftentimes, and my best friends are within the military connected community here, and I will tell you to the ROI, as that person mentioned, you want to be interconnected with the community, and there is no better place than our public school system for your kids and for you to really embrace really Hawaii and the unique culture that of the islands. It's a safe place. Our schools are great. Our kids are wonderful. Our communities are so much love throughout the island. So, if sometimes I know moving to a new place can be lonely. You may not know many people. You just get here. But what's nice about our public schools for both your kids as well as for you as a job seeker is that you're going to meet actual people that live and work in these communities. And there's no better way to get kind of connected, helping out, of course, our public school system, but you on a personal level, on a social level, just to be able to make friends, have that experience where you're getting invited over to a family that's lived here in the islands for generations. I mean, there's nothing better than that, and that's something that I think is really worthwhile, having a job that is in such an interconnected community. So thanks for that
Oh
great
my
question.
I want to go there. I want to move there. So let's make a plan, James. Sounds
Let's
like
do it.
such a exciting way for you to, especially when you are transitioning or if you are considering your happily ever after post retirement. You have all
Hmm.
the credentials, or you have the experience, you have the bachelor's, or maybe just education, and you want to do a purposeful work opportunity that really carries out a mission or makes a difference. I think this is an incredible way to consider. Definitely. And let's take some moments right now to send some shout outs. Yeah, we have some great audience and members over in our Facebook, I'm sorry, our LinkedIn community. So let's go and say hello to Irina and Suzette. Thank you so much for supporting today. Thank you to Veronica as well, who's out there and supporting. Thank you. Let's go now to the other LinkedIn. We want to say thank you to let me see here. We're going to say thank you to Stephanie. We want to say thank you to Cynthia. Thank you very much for supporting us. Joseph, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Lorna. Jonathan, Stephanie. I know, Stephanie, you're in Hawaii. Consider this aloha. At least the substituting will be such a great opportunity. Aurora, if you ever get relocated there, just also make sure you consider that. Sarah, we have Jacinta. Thank you, Juan, for supporting. Rosalinda, we have Dr. Gina as well. Thank you so much. Lynn, Manuel, Tyler. Thank you, everyone, very much. And now let's go really quick to Facebook. We have Dali out there. We had Grace. We also have Mary. Thank you so much, Mary. Veronica, thank you for supporting. We have incredible members out there in our community sharing and supporting. And all I want to tell you is please don't keep it to yourself. If you know someone looking for a job, or you see on some of our social network community, somebody's moving to PCS into Hawaii and they're having um, just anxiety or trying to figure it out. What am I going to do for work? Hey, start as a substitute. Oh, you can't hear me?
No, I said call me, but I know when
Oh,
not.
yeah, call you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Call James for sure and consider some of the other part time jobs while you are exploring around and finding your happily ever after. So, let's now that we made those over in the neighborhood, I want to say shout out to Sierra as well as to Veronica and Barbara, who is from Wisconsin. Barbara, this is a great place for you to like aloha all the way to great weather. Just ditch that snow and everything else. Come on, we got to find great happily ever after for you as well. Um, Anything that you should consider, James? You gave us so much stuff to consider, to think about, especially the bonuses, the pay,
Hmm.
and then the social aspect that I think we need in some of these great life-changing moments. Getting a new job, relocating, the fact that this is a community sort of a embracing of you, but also supporting you. It's a whole community sort of a job that allows you to fit in and welcomes you. What are the things should we consider when joining or following up with Hawaii State Department of Education?
Yeah, I would just say from first off, I think it's so important that you find something that is meaningful, passionate to you, but take your time. Find, get acclimated there in the islands. But if you're like me and you like panic about everything and you're like, I need to find something in advance, we have the resources there. We have everything is very transparently posted. I want to do a shout out though, if there's anyone that is like a multilingual, a multi-language speaker on this call today. I will tell you, I have struggled to find any Spanish language speakers to fill positions in our schools.
Ali.
And we are having some foreign language, adding in more classes for foreign language, especially Spanish speakers. So if there's anybody on the call that has that is interested in those types of opportunities, we will definitely be posting those on our site. Our Spanish speaking population in Hawaii is growing, but we are a very multilingual community. So any kind of like Tagalog speakers, Ilocano speakers, from the Filipino community, Tongan, Samoan, all different types of languages we also have available for our students. And we also have paraprofessionals, but in Hawaii, we call them educational assistants. So I want to tell you that they don't call them parapros here. We call them educational assistants. And we have a lot of educational assistants that handle a lot of like language classes and things like that and provide support. But we are just so excited to have you all, and please let us be a resource. Reach out to our military liaison offices if you're coming with your family, with your kids. We will do what we can to get you set up in terms of opportunities, career opportunities. For my IT friend on the call today that was posting, look under, type in
Barbara?
technology, Barbara. Yeah,
Yep.
technology, IT, computer science, cybersecurity. I mean, you can imagine the network of 40,000 employees and over, I think it's like 160,000 students. It takes a large network infrastructure to manage that. And so we have an entire hundreds of folks working in IT to manage our like minor city of employees and workers throughout the state. So
Okay, so that was really good. We heard it takes a lot of infrastructure to manage all the students, and then we had a little lapse on your video, but we are, I think that's the system telling us we're almost at the
yeah,
top of our hour. But thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for
my
bringing,
pleasure.
all of this great information for us to make a really educated decision. But not only that, to understand more how we can find a really rewarding career when we get to a place that it may feel like it's small. There's nothing out here. I don't know what to do. There's so many great rewarding opportunities, part time, full time. I mean, you name it. I think you mentioned all of that and you cover all the bases. And so, for all of you who are watching and still tuning in, so thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you. And when you have any doubts, all of the great information is going to be posted in the neighborhood. So make sure that you join. We have already a partner profile there for Hawaii State Department of Education where you can click on it and go to the main website. However, we're going to do a repost so that you can have all the links from all the PowerPoints that all the different ones that go to your area of interest. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with somebody else and understand that if this is not for you, then it's okay. It's for somebody else who have might benefit from this opportunity. And thank you, Mia. I think the school system
Yes.
takes years experience. Yes, of course. You'll be like,
Six.
oh, hotcakes. 6 years. Go ahead, James. Tell them.
6 years, 6 years, Mia, definitely. And Laura, I want to thank you. Big mahalo to you for all the work you do in
Thank you.
connecting everyone together. We really appreciate it. Mahalo, everyone. Thank you. See you in Hawaii.
Thank you so much. Go ahead and apply, start exploring. And again, share the link to your individuals, your network. Don't keep it to yourself and let's help us reach more individuals who can benefit from some great opportunities, but not only that, fabulous employment and a great mission. So thank you so much for watching today.